Hello, Charles. My name is Ryan Espinoza, and I'm a student at Owens Community College in the Physical Therapy Assistant Program. And I'm going to be working with Charlie today. Some of our goals is going to be helping along with getting into the hands and knees position, quadruped, and also working on some of that rotation. So that way we can get him into cruising on the side of furniture and just like that weight acceptance through the limbs. And then I'm understanding he's having some trouble grasping. And I'm just going to be working with you and him today just to show you a few things that you guys can do to help this out. So do I have permission to do so? Awesome, thank you. So let's get right into our first intervention here. After reviewing the chart, I noticed that Charlie was having a hard time getting into the quadruped position himself. This can be a very difficult task. There's a lot of things at work here, so I'm going to show you some things that you can do to help out and achieve this position. So I got a little stuffed animal here. Essie is currently taking a nap, and I tried doing this with her, and she just pops right up into quadruped. So we'll show you some segments here to break it down a little easier for you. So you got Charlie here. You guys are playing. This is typically when you can do this intervention any time really, as long as you guys are up and interacting with each other. Okay. So to perform this, when Charlie starts off, stomach down, you're gonna want to come just behind the shoulders here. You don't want to do all the lifting in the arms for him, but you're going to take some of that weight off the arms, and then he'll start to put his hands underneath himself, and once he's there, let him press himself up, okay? So he's pressing up with all of his hands. You're just kind of there providing some assistance, taking some of that weight off. Then you're going to do the same sort of concept at the hips. You're going to lift just here at the hips. Let them put their knees up and underneath. And then once they achieve the position, make sure they have good posture. Make sure they're looking up at their head. Everything else should be in a straight line. When we think about the spine in a quadruped position, you're going to want just a straight line this way. So once he has effectively achieved this position, by again pressing himself up and doing the majority of the work with his legs, I noticed on his chart he likes to sit on his heels more and reach out. That means he's more comfortable just accepting the weight through his knees instead of his upper half. So once you get him into this position, where he's on his hands and knees, to help facilitate some of that creeping, he's going to want to be more comfortable having to put weight on his hands. So to do this, what you're going to do is slightly rock him forward onto his hands, and then back onto his knees, forward onto his hands, and then back onto his knees, okay? So it's just a nice, slow, rhythmic rocking, okay? Like this. This will get him into accepting more weight on his upper extremities and lower extremities, okay? You're going to want to stop this intervention if he starts having trouble being able to hold himself up with his arms. Just give him a little rest and then try again later. Also, if you notice that his head is dropping down and it's not staying up, just give him a little break, and that way he can refresh and get some of his strength back, and you can try again another time. But hopefully once he gets that weight acceptance on the upper extremities, he'll be able to shift all of his weight to one side and then reach, and then effectively be able to reach for things. And then once he starts reaching, hopefully the legs will follow, and you will get that reciprocal creeping pattern. So I'm going to get my stuff around for the next intervention we're going to go over, and I will be right back. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, Charles. So now we're getting ready for our next intervention, and for that, I noticed on the chart Charlie was having a hard time with the counter rotation of the trunk. That way, when he gets up on the furniture, he can turn and start cruising along it. So this can be achieved very early from either side lying or supine. Just a couple things that I can show you when you're playing with them. to increase that counter rotation. So let me just adjust that so I can show you what we're going to be doing. So again, you're going to have Charlie, you're going to have him supine, and I usually use like a toy or something that's bright color that they want to track. You just place it just above their head over here, preferably a noisy light up toy, so then that'll get them to initiate to turn their head to look for it, and then when they go to start to reach for it, this will engage the trunk to start to rotate, and when they reach for that toy, you're going to kind of want to, if they can't reach for it and roll on their own, you just facilitate that by hanging onto their hand and guiding them to reach, okay? And then to get the lower half to come around, what you're going to want to do is grab the lower extremity and kind of bend their knee up into their chest and facilitate that turn and the reach at the same time, and then they go over, okay? So I'll just show you from a side view here. So you get your toy, get them to track it, if they like it, you know, turn it on, get the sound and lights going, and then that's going to cause head rotation, and they're going to be reaching for it, and once they reach for it, that's what's going to cause that rotation factor of everything, and then they're going to go right over and try getting to their toy, okay? It's really hard to show you with the doll. I have a video that I can put with Essie and her rolling, and how when I place the toy above her head, she's got that reach, and then the trunk follows, or the lower half follows. So this is just creating a lot of strength to be able to do that, especially in the standing position, because right here gravity is going to be affecting them a lot more than when they're upright and standing. You're going to want to stop this intervention if you notice Charlie's having too hard of a time continuing to roll over. Again, if they're having trouble with that rolling maneuver, just facilitate it by grabbing the hand and kind of guiding them over. And then if their lower half isn't moving, again, you're going to take, I like to grab kind of like by the ankle and bend their leg up to their chest, then kind of initiate that roll over with your hand a little bit, combined with the reach, and this should help strengthening that trunk rotation. So when he's upright, he'll be able to do that a lot easier because he's fighting gravity while he's supine on the ground. So I'll get my things around and we'll get ready for the next intervention. Okay, so for my next intervention, I'm going to show you how to develop some of that counter rotation that I noticed in the chart that Charlie is having trouble with. This can be achieved not only in standing but also in the rolling aspect. So I'm going to show you how to do that here with Essie Girl. So just take a toy, one of their favorites. What you're going to do is just place it there, get it going, and you're going to place some supine, and then she's already initiating that counter rotation with reaching with her arm. Once she reaches, don't want to restrict her too much, it's best to just let them roll. And then there you go, and that will help develop some of that counter rotation. So when they're standing, they can rotate and then start reciprocating or doing that cruising along the furniture. So again, when I place her supine, she's going to reach and rotate and roll right over. You're going to want to stop this intervention if you notice on Charlie, if he's having too hard of a time continuing to reach and roll, but that should help with some of that rotation. I'll show okay, babies. I'll show you one more time from the side view, just so you know what it looks like. The reach and roll. That's good for them to develop that rotation. And she's going to come sign us out while we get everything ready for the next intervention. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hello again. All right, now we're on to our third intervention to help out Charlie. I also noticed in the chart that he was having trouble weight shifting side to side while he is in the standing position. I can show you a very simple intervention that you can perform at home when he pulls himself up onto the furniture that you can work on him with to help increase his weight acceptance on his lower extremities. I also noticed in the chart that he was having trouble with the grasping things. This could be easily helped along by when you're feeding him. If you put him in the chair for feeding time, just cut his food up into the small bites that he can take and just place them into various locations on the mat in front of him. I like to typically do only 1 to 2 pieces max, because I notice if you have too many pieces of food down, they just kind of spread all around and it just kind of is overwhelming. But if you do that 1 piece at a time, or even the little yogurt things and put those on top of the couch while he's standing up, he will develop even like a more fine pincer grasp as well. But it'll just help facilitate with the grabbing. But back onto the weight shifting. Let me get things in order here so I can show you. Okay, so let's just say this little bolster is your couch at home. What you're going to want to do, or whether he gets himself there or not, you're just going to place them in front of them. I like to go from a sit to a stand, and this can be helped achieved by you by just controlling the trunk here, facilitating a little weight shift forward onto the feet, and then once they get onto the feet, he'll stand up on his own. I typically like to do this pretty much anytime we get done with like a change, after you like change their diaper out or they want to be picked up or anything like that. You just always facilitate that weight shift forward and make them stand on their own. That'll develop the strength in the lower extremities to be able to accept the weight when you do when we get there. So an intervention for that weight shifting would be once you get them up. I typically would be behind Charlie, but for the sake of the video, so you can see what I'm going to be doing here. Again, we do that sit to stand transfer, okay? And then once he's standing, holding on to the couch, what I do is I just place my hands underneath the armpits here, and we're going to just work on some lateral weight shifting. So we're going to go this side, and this side, and this side. Just do this as long as he tolerates it. You know, maybe even put a toy in front of him on the couch or something like that. That way he can stay interested. I would do it for about 30 seconds to a minute and just continue to go side to side as long as he tolerates it. If you're noticing his legs are buckling and they're having a hard time staying up, then you're just going to want to set him back down, let him regain some of his strength back, and then try again another time. It's important to keep these interventions fun for them, also for you. If you have more of an entertaining factor with it, they're going to want to participate in it, and they don't even know they're participating in it. So that's also important to keep in mind. But hopefully, after you do some of these things with Charlie, you will start to notice an improvement in a lot of his skills. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come here and have us help you, and hopefully this all works out good. Have a nice rest of your day. Thank you. Before you went on your way, I have a home exercise plan here. It's just that exercise going over the rolling technique. You start to supine, facilitate that hand over, and then that leg over, and that will help with that counter rotation and building the strength in that. If you have any questions, I have my contact info on here to help with that, and you should just perform this whenever you're playing with your child, and just remember to take a break from it every so often. Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.